I want to take, questions, comments, things you're burning to share in the community, which, as Marisa pointed out, you can't do by yourself. So what do you have to say? And then we'll give them a chance to do a little back and forth as well.
Hi, Marisa, I just wanted to comment on what you said about university students encouraged to lose their body in order to pursue their academic careers. And that just really struck a chord with me, because as an academic art historian, it's definitely, I've seen that, especially, I just dyed my hair on Sunday, and already I've been getting comments or looks that are negative when it really hasn't, it's not gonna affect my performance or my knowledge at all. So that really just struck me, that comment.
Jennifer, I really loved what you were saying about kind of these exercises in very gendered physical expressions that you kind of do. And I was just wondering, because I think there's a part of me that was really attracted to, I don't want to call it a mandate, but just kind of we are doing this now, do this thing that you maybe haven't done before or whatever. But I'm wondering also how you kind of navigate comfort zones, or just kind of dealing with the inherent power dynamic of being the teacher and kind of laying out what's happening, but also trying to, respect what, students want to happen and things like that. Was my question.
Okay, yeah, there's several things in there. The comfort zone, is super important, and I try to do that in several ways. I mean, one is that one exercise where everybody's gesture is welcomed, and it's so simple. All you do is each person's movement. I shy away from a lot of critique. We just do a lot of doing, and we talk about what felt good, what we liked. I claim my position of authority as a teacher, and I kind of try to take a lot of responsibility for keeping track of how everybody's doing, and really being aware of everybody's feelings, and putting that that idea out in the room as well. So I don't know, I'm just trying to monitor what's going on, and that's the craft, really. Mm-hmm. That's the craft.
Thank you both those were really exciting, especially in combination with each other. I'm curious to hear maybe both of you talk about, Marisa, you brought up the notion of appearance, through the Butler essay that you were or talk that you were referring to. And I guess I'm interested in that sort of the complexity of where maybe this utopia that allows, or a utopian space or engagement that allows us to appear in certain ways and be present and engaged in our bodies in a way that maybe some of us, our bodies are regulated in culture and do not allow us to fully sort of show up. And if that appearance allows for the space of sort of maybe to transcend our bodies in terms of the body as a space of limitation, maybe, or if it works sort of in the other way, an experience that allows us to transcend our body is the thing that allows us to appear. Mm-hmm. And that sort of dynamic. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's neither or, but I'm just kind of curious about that appearance, transcendence, being in our body, being beyond our body.
Yeah. That's a great question. Thank you. The issue with appearance was elaborated by different philosophers, but Butler in the last Occupy, she wrote all this essay with who can appear, and the appearance of people, the overflowing of plazas, and the appearance of the more than one. And this was incredibly accurate because of the importance of the possibility of coalition to appear in the form of bodies in the plaza. And this is particularly important because of the contradictions of what we are here experiencing as Utopia. We are always talking about the body, and we are having a body always that is in transit to being another thing, or in process of becoming more of a woman and exaggerate the female things, or less as a woman, or other than a woman, or in the border of women and men. So bodies appear bodies appear for activism in plazas, in an outrage movement, and get materiality and voice for voicing a common outrage. That was the bank, remember, the bank and all of that. But also, the bodies appear and disappear in this transit of desire and sexuality to move beyond and transcend the body. So we want materiality in the bodies. We want to get voice to demand this old outrage getting along with banks and with economic situation and all what we see in poverty. But the more important thing that I think we're exploring here is this relation with desire and sexuality. These bodies are material, but there are these other bodies that go also to the plaza that are material, but are all the time in process by being followed by justice, in process, no? They are close to be imprisoned or close to be punished, and are in process also of becoming other than they are and becoming other in desire. So appearance is, I think, that has to do with materiality and economic situation, and also transcendence that has to do more with sexuality and being other body than you are.
Jennifer?
I would leave it at that.
I often feel that way after Marisa speaks. What about thoughts between the two of you as a wrap-up here? Because fortunately, we're going to go on to workshops here.
I am thrilled of hearing what queering a space means in your vocabulary and of all the connections we have. And I want to make a list because we need to remember this. And maybe we can do it like this, no? Have the right to remain silent. So free, the free things, free access. One. Move from, this is the tilting queer pedagogy, right? Free access. It has to be free at some moment. Things have to be free. Our education in Mexico City is free. Graduate school and all of that is free. Move, but we have many problems. Bunch of
It's
problems.
not Utopia, but it's great.
Not. Move from place to place. It has to be ambulant. The ambulant, and also sexuality, desire, move from place to place, doesn't get stagnated, right, Jennifer? So we want ambulance of desire, ambulance of presentation, taken, occupying bodies, plazas, squares. Then speak clearly to all kinds of people. Also can speak and have response, no? Convivencia, having collectivities that can understand each other. Then temporal communities in this ambulance, no? These are your words, Jennifer. I'm quoting you. Then get naked in the park. I love that part. Also, have the opportunity to get naked in the park and to pee in a bucket.
Is that something we share?
Yeah. Well, I don't like to pee in a bucket. I don't like to pee. I pee my legs. I cannot pee like this. I pee all over. I cannot do that. I need the pressure. So trying all kind of gender behaviors, no? Trying out of kind, that is, I think that is a very important thing to do also when reading in graduate school. You can enhance that, not also in grammar school. Reading with all kind of gender behaviors, reading aloud together, and changing the way we see each other. And what else, Ian? This is a bit of a combination of tilting, right, and balancing.
Yeah, beautiful. You know, and working in prisons. I think we all want to do that. We've all got to get into occupied spaces and bring our resources where it's hard to get into. That I think that work that you're doing, you know, is amazing.
Taking their walls,
changing
and
the
and
walls,
their bodies. The women prisons, they do develop an amazing number of ways of desiring themselves. They only can dress in blue and in gray. And you cannot imagine the whole array of blues and grays they develop, and the whole array of forms of desire they develop to each other also. It's amazing. They are not enclosed.
And the way we learn to be in our bodies and transcend our appearances, whether it's the clothes or the shapes or what we're allowed to do with them or where they're allowed to go. And we try to just continue to open up the potential that the body can bring to whatever action and thinking. And speaking in, I think, many languages as we are and as we do, moving from the circus to the prison to the academic world to the conference, many verbal languages, and for me it's like many theoretical languages, and the languages of painting, and the languages of shtick, and the languages of clowning, and the languages of theory, and the more we become, and the languages of movement. And I think we're trying to bring these many languages into both of our work.
And to criticize with all effort and strength that we can this medication of kids, and also the medication of inmates. They give them drugs, they give them, this history is true. So we can witness the incredibly vocabulary and the dimension of gestures and of love that you can experience in prison. And when you see that and you witness the medical intervention and the intervention of psychiatry and medicine, it's really scary to see the way kids are getting medicated. And in Berkeley, that happened in Berkeley, of all places. And of course, the medical system that intervenes prisons is also very scary. So that we have to watch that also.
We have to watch that. And we both really took this big jump to looking in the young kids, which I think was, you know, some amazing synchronicity we had in our very sparse few little talks, but we really drove towards some very similar places. Thanks for bringing us together.
Well, I was just going to say thank you to both of you.